Okay, good. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. So good evening or good afternoon, everyone. You know, wherever you find yourself, if it's good afternoon or if it's good evening. Um, Thank you so much for taking the time to attend our webinar, and we are deeply sorry. We are deeply sorry for the mix-up. Like I did explain, I think in scheduling we got mixed up with the time zone, and unfortunately, not everybody got the right time, or I mean, it just got mixed up, and I'm not exactly sure what happened. Thankfully, we are here, and we are grateful that you've taken the time to attend. This webinar, as we already announced, is all about how Swychr really helps to simplify fund transfers or peer-to-peer transfers from the USA to Africa, or from USA to Africa. Actually, Swychr doesn't only simplify fund transfers from the US to Africa, but it's actually, as you will see, as you will get to understand before the end of the webinar, it's actually a kind of global cash app per se. However, today, you know, we really wanted to focus on the US audience, but I assume that, you know, looking at those who are attending, we have people attending from here and there. So of course, we're just going to touch through everything that Swychr does. So before I proceed, by way of introduction, my name is Aaron Munga. I'm the founder and CEO of Swychr. And once more, on behalf of everyone from Swychr, we want to say thank you so much and welcome to our first live webinar. This will be the first of many. And before I proceed, I would like to also acknowledge George, the Chief Operating Officer of Swychr. He's in attendance. Anyway, we'll get to the team slide and we'll talk more about that. So let's dive straight into the business of the day. Okay. I mean, we cannot go ahead to talk about how Swychr simplifies peer-to-peer remittances without first of all understanding what Swychr is. So Swychr, it's a mobile payments application that empowers every smartphone owner to be able to send or receive funds, pay or be paid instantly by anyone, anywhere in the world in USD denominated transactions. What this means is, if you have a smartphone and you download Swychr app, you can send funds to anyone, no matter where they are, instantly, just like you send a text message or you send an email, or you can receive funds from anyone from in any part of the world instantly. Again, just like you send an email or a text message, you can pay someone in the same way, or you can accept payment from someone near instantly. So that's what Swychr is all about. For those who already have Swychr, you will have an idea, or those who already have Swychr app, you will have a detailed understanding already how this works. But again, for those who are new to Swychr, this is what Swychr is all about. We want to make sure that anyone, anywhere in the world can send or receive funds, can pay or be paid instantly and without costing an arm and a leg. Anyway, we will dive, at some point during the webinar, we are going to talk about the business model itself, and you will understand why Swychr is always a better option. Now, how does Swychr work? Because again, it sounds nice to just say that Swychr wants to be able to allow anyone to receive payment or send payment, but it's also important that we should explain to you how we actually do this. So the way Swychr works is, first, I'll just go from the point of even getting the app. So you, of course, if you're using an Android device, then you'll have to download Swychr from Google Play. If you're using an Apple device, then you have to download Swychr from App Store. So if you just go to Google Play or App Store and you search for Swychr, then you can find the application and you can download the application. Once you've downloaded and installed the application on your mobile device, the next thing is to create an account and verify yourself. And how you do this is by providing really basic information, such as your name, your email address, and so on and so forth, choosing your Swychr username, and you are good to go once your account is set up. Now, after creating and verifying your account, the next thing is you cannot start transferring or withdrawing money if you have zero balance in your account, right? So you have to add funds to your account. And how can you do that? You can add funds to your account using, we've done our best, and we will continue striving to add so many local and international payment methods to the application. So you can add funds to your account and you can pay by debit cards, Visa and Master. I mean, especially in the developed world, and then in the emerging markets of, I mean, especially African countries, you can even add funds to your account and pay by mobile money. And of course, you can also pay by bank transfer in some countries like Nigeria, the US, the UAE, Canada, and so on and so forth. So that's how you add funds to your account, guys. There is a simple menu on the app where you will clearly see add funds. Once you tap on that button, then you just you have to select, you know, which currency you're adding from. And then you provide your payment details, depending if it's card or if it's mobile money, you provide the necessary details and you go ahead and add funds to your account. Now, when funds are added to your account, and also let me mention that for Web3 funds, you can actually add funds to your Swychr account and pay by crypto. So there is crypto payment, there is a digital payment by card, and there's digital payment by mobile money. And we also have the peer-to-peer marketplace where you can add funds to your account by going through a merchant. But again, we are not going to go into that now. Now, once funds are added into your account, there are two things you can do. You can transfer the funds from your account to another Swychr user using their Swychr username or their email address. The transfer function is really simple and there is zero fees. So if I have $100 in my Swychr account, I can actually transfer the $100 to George using his Swychr username or his email address completely free of charge. So I send $100, he gets $100. And by the way, we charge as well. If I add $100 to my account, I actually get $100. There's nothing deducted. So whatever you put in is whatever is the same amount that will be reflected in your account. Now we start on transferring from one Swychr account to the other. The withdrawal is very important. Why is it important? Because of course, we know that there is global adoption and there is increased global adoption of crypto and acceptability. However, in most places and with most vendors, you cannot pay directly using crypto. You cannot pay directly using a digital currency. So that's why we've gone ahead to make sure that people are able to withdraw funds from their Swychr account into mobile money and bank accounts in more than 100 countries. Now on the app, if you check the withdrawal function, you will see just a handful of countries. However, during this, for the purpose of this presentation, we are actually confident to tell you that you are able to do that in 100 plus countries, because we are actually working on that, and in less than 3 months down the line, you should be able to see this number of countries on the withdrawal menu, on the withdrawal menu option. So once I send funds to George, let's say I'm in the United Arab Emirates, I add $100 to my account, I send to George, who is in Cameroon, or I send to Esther, who is in Nigeria. Every one of them can actually withdraw the funds directly from their Swychr account into their mobile money account or into their bank account. And that's how Swychr powers peer-to-peer remittances. So I add funds to my account, I transfer the funds to a beneficiary directly to their own Swychr account, and they can withdraw the funds from their Swychr account into a mobile money account or a bank account. So I'm not sure if there are any questions so far. I don't want to just assume that everything is fine and I keep going. If there are any questions so far, guys, please feel free to let me know. You can unmute yourself and you can speak. Anyone with any question, you can unmute yourself and speak. Feel free. Okay, so the silence means there's no question and everything is well understood. So, okay, we can proceed. Now that we understand how Swychr works, the next thing is how does Swychr use blockchain technology? Because how we are able to do this, tokenizing or adding funds to your account, transferring the funds to another Swychr user using their email address or their Swychr username, the technology that helps us to be able to do that in a very cost-effective manner and almost instantly is blockchain technology. So what is the role of blockchain as far as Swychr is concerned? First, Blockchain helps us with tokenizing the funds that you add into your account. Because once you add $100 into your account, instead of seeing in your Swychr account that you have $100, you will actually see us. You actually see us saying you have. When you go to your account, you actually see that you have 100 Purple coins. So Purple coin is Swychr's native stable token or stable coin. Stable because it is pegged to the value of the US dollar. So one Purple coin at any point in time is always equal to US dollars. So once you add one Purple coin at every point in time is always equal to one USD. So when you add $100 into your account or $50 into your account, we credit your account with the equivalent amount of Purple coins and not US dollar itself. The reason why we tokenize these funds is to make it easy to move the funds, from one Swychr account to the other, or let's say across the internet, near instantly and without costing an arm and a leg. And that's why we are able to do free transfers. So blockchain technology helps us to tokenize the funds that you add into your account. And tokenization simply means we create a digital asset with the same value as the funds that you've added to your Swychr account. So that's the first role. That's the first importance of the blockchain technology to the Swychr project. The next thing is blockchain also helps us with on-chain transfers. So when I send $100 from my Swychr account to, let's say, Philip's Swychr account, I am doing that I'm doing that on-chain, and there are no intermediaries. So it leaves from my account and it gets credited directly from his account to his account, and that's why the transfers are almost instantly, just like you send a text message. So I do a transfer. The moment I click send, you get an email, and if you check your Swychr wallet, the amount should already be reflected both in the balance and in the transaction history or the passbook. So that's the second important blockchain technology. It helps us to transfer funds on chain. Then one very important aspect is that to make sure that we are also in a comfortable position that whatever funds you add to your account, you cannot lose the value that you add into your account. For every Purple coin that gets minted and credited to your account, we acquire USDC on chain to collateralize the Purple coins that is minted and credited into any user's account. Now, for those who do not know about crypto, USDC is basically an internet currency, and it's one of the most regulated USD stable coins in the world. So it's more like Purple coin, but now issued by well-established organizations and under proper regulations in the US, and also has a very good governance structure. So rather than trying to build those infrastructures by ourselves to build trust, we decided to collateralize our own native token, which exists purely within the Swychr ecosystem, with USDC that is already properly regulated and managed. And of course, the likes of Visa, Coinbase, and Swychr have major stakes in the USDC the USDC ecosystem. So we felt comfortable enough to use this asset to collateralize our token. So again, that's one importance of blockchain, because we are able to acquire these tokens on chain to collateralize our own token that we issue to our users when they add funds to their Swychr wallet. Blockchain is also very important for us because we use it for treasury movement. So if we are moving funds from one Swychr entity to another, because all the money that you add into Swychr gets tokenized. So if we are moving funds from one Swychr entity to another, it's done on chain and near instantly. Last but not the least, like I did mention, you can actually add funds to your Swychr account and pay by crypto. So for those who are already deep in the Web3 world, if you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic, or whatever coin that you have, and you want to recharge your Swychr wallet, instead of having to off-ramp your coin to fiat and then use maybe a debit card or whatever, maybe your mobile money account to add funds to Swychr, you can do that directly from your crypto wallet. So we accept up to 120 major cryptocurrencies when recharging your Swychr wallet. So I hope everything is clear so far. If we have questions, guys, please, you can unmute yourself and speak. I don't just want to keep going and assuming that everything is fine and people have questions. So are there any questions? If you have any question, anyone, you can unmute yourself and speak. The floor is open. Okay, so I assume that silence again means there's no question. So let's move on. Now, unit economics within Swychr. Like I did say, we were going to get into this because it's important that you understand the charges that you bear when transacting with Swychr. Now, when it comes to adding funds to your wallet, like I said, if you add $100, you get 100 purple coins. There's zero charge. Now, transferring from one Swychr wallet to the other, there's also a zero charge. So transfers from one Swychr account to the other is completely free. You don't bear any cost for transfers. Now, but when you are withdrawing funds from the Swychr ecosystem or from your Swychr account to a mobile money or to a bank account, there is a commission of around 5%. And that commission has two components. One is the gateway fees that we had to incur at the time you added funds to your wallet. And the other component of the fee is actually the commission that Swychr charges, and that's how Swychr makes money. Now, when it comes to exchange rate, Swychr uses either live, near live, or above live interest rate, exchange rate, but never lower. So, for example, if you're withdrawing 100 purple coins in Cameroon and $1 at the point of at the time on the day you're withdrawing, it's, let's say, 1:600, Swychr is always going to pay you at least 1:600. In most cases, more, and there is a whole mechanism why we are able to do that. So that explains the unit economics of Swychr. Now, why should you use Swychr? This is a very important question. We are appealing to people, we are talking to everyone and telling them about what we're doing, but there is a very important question. Why should you use Swychr? The first thing is that Swychr is fast. With Swychr, you're conducting instant transaction from anywhere in the world to anywhere in the world. So if I'm in the US and someone is in India, in less than a split second, I can send funds to them. As long as I have funds in my Swychr wallet, with a click, I can transfer the funds from my Swychr wallet to their Swychr wallet. So that's the first reason why you should use Swychr. It's fast because it's near instant. Also, it's convenient. So no one has to be physically. I, the sender, will do everything from my smartphone. The receiver will also just need their smartphone and their own Swychr account to receive the funds. No one has to be physically displaced. No one has to be distracted from doing other important things just to, make a fund transfer. Everything is done from the comfort of our smartphones. The next thing is Swychr has a wider coverage through mobile money payouts. Of course, if you're sending money to someone, let's say in Cameroon by Western Union, in most cases, they have to go to maybe a Western Union partner, a financial institution, and so on to pick up the money. Now, if you go into rural areas or areas where you don't have these money branches or these financial institutions per se, then it becomes difficult to transact with people in that location. But because Swychr also pays out into mobile money accounts, wherever there is telephone connectivity, no matter how remote the area is, you can transact with that person. Because as you will discover, one of the advantages of using Swychr is that you can actually send funds to someone that doesn't even need to download Swychr app. That's how I send funds to my grandma. So from my Swychr account, I can withdraw funds from my Swychr wallet directly into her mobile money account by simply going to the withdrawal menu, choosing the country, choosing the payout method, providing her details and submitting, and the rest is done. Okay, now there's also a social impact angle to Swychr, and I'm glad that today with us on the call, we have some merchants. So every time you transact on Swychr, whatever commission we are deducting from you, we are splitting that commission with the merchants. Now, you might want to ask who merchants are. So other financial institutions like Western Union, World Remit, they rely on financial institutions. I mean, local financial institutions in different countries or in different regions to provide the liquidity to settle transactions. Rather, for us, we are a peer-to-peer ecosystem where we rely on individuals from the communities that you're transacting to, to provide that liquidity in settling the transaction. And what they get in return is a split of that commission. So every time you're transacting on Swychr, every time you withdraw funds, let's say you're sending funds to Cameroon, you're sending funds to Nigeria, you're sending funds to Ghana, you're sending funds to India, just know at the back of your mind that you're also doing something positive. You're also putting funds into that local community. And that's how we are able to empower merchants from the local communities that you're transacting with by splitting whatever commission that we are getting from you with them. And also, it's important that as Africans, we need to start writing our own stories. We need to start creating our own problems for our own solutions for our own problems by ourselves. And Swychr is a typical example. And that's one of the reasons why, one out of many reasons why you should support us. And the list goes on and on. But of course, we have a limited time and we cannot exhaust all of those things. Now, other use cases of Swychr. We are working on so many things. I've touched quite a bit on the peer-to-peer remittance business model. However, Swychr is not only going to end there. So we are looking at payments where you can be able to pay for goods and services directly, both off and online, directly from your Swychr mobile application. You can pay school fees. Both local and international school fee payments, utility bill payments, airtime top-up, data bundles acquisition from major telcos across different African countries. And of course, these are some of the things that we are thinking about, but I would also like to know, towards the end of the webinar, I would like to also know, or maybe you can even put it in the chat, what are the things that you would like to see us add on Swychr? We are happy to get your feedback, and we are happy to work hard to add those things that you would like to see on Swychr. Now, in terms of legal structure, it's very important that, when you're transacting with a company or a company like Swychr, it's super important to understand how, what gives the company or the entity the legitimacy to do the business that the entity is doing. So Swychr is legally registered with headquarters in London. And of course, we have subsidiaries / operating entities in the US. We have another one in Cameroon. And again, I want to make this very clear. Swychr is a technology company, not a financial institution. It's super important. We are a technology company. We focus on building the infrastructure, and we take care of the tokenization of the fiat that you add into Swychr into a digital asset, and we manage the flow of this digital asset on-chain. However, how are we able to do what we're doing, like adding funds from fiat? Receiving the fiat from you as the customers before we tokenize them, and how are we able to also off-ram, especially if we are not going through our peer-to-peer merchant network, how are we able to off-ram this digital asset back to fiat when people withdraw into their bank accounts and mobile money accounts? That we do as a tech company. We tie up with other entities that have that are already properly regulated and licensed or authorized to carry out this kind of business. So we focus on the technology, while our partners provide us the cover to do to accept the fiat that comes in, and to also off-ramp from digital asset after tokenization back to fiat. So that's the whole idea. We are not a financial institution. We are a technology company, and our partners provide the coverage to actually on-ramp and off-ramp to and from digital asset, our digital asset. Now, I mentioned, I've just talked about partners. Some of our partners include Swychr. Swychr is very instrumental on the off-ramping side. TazaPay is very instrumental on the on-ramping side. We have Mungeno Technologies, which is also a local, a local company in Cameroon, and that helps Swychr in so many different ways. We have Swychr Internet Financial, which is the issuer of USDC, which is the token that the stable coin that we use to collateralize purple coins. We have InTouch, which is also very instrumental on the onboarding side. And we have InnoBeans Decision Science, which is an Indian entity and a technology partner of Swychr. Now, talking about the team, myself, Aaron Munga, of a business and finance background, originally from Cameroon, based in the United Arab Emirates. I'm the founder and CEO. So, I'm the sales guy. And that's why I'm the one talking to you today. My role is, to talk to people about everything Swychr and make sure people understand the good things that we are doing at Swychr. We have Ashit Sina, who is not on the call today. He has a tech background. He's of Indian origin, and he's the CTO. Then we have Eno George, who is on the call today. Eno George is also of a technical background, of Cameroonian origin, and he is the Chief Operating Officer. Then we have Mr. Tse. I think Mr. Tse was on the call. I'm not sure if he's still here. Mr. Tse is the Chief Commercial Officer. He's of a finance and business background as well, and also from Cameroon. And then last but not the least, we have Janot Tanzong, who is the Chief Financial Officer from Cameroon and of finance and accounting background. Now, I mean, you can see that the team is pretty much very young, and one could already start asking questions, but how are these young guys able to, you know, pull off this project and make all of these things work? The truth is, we are not able, I mean, we've not been able to come this far just by ourselves. We have a very strong advisory board with more than 50 decades of combined experience from banking, from telecom, from insurance, from technology, from sales, you know, backing us up. We have Nikolai, who is the head of the advisory team. Nikolai have more than 30 years of experience. He has been CEO and CFO in the banking and telecom industries across 4 continents. We have Nabil with more than 20 years of experience in the insurance sector. He's currently the managing director of Gov Insurance. We have Scott, you know, with lots of sales and business strategy experience. We have Joseph, who is the senior managing director of Delta Partners. Delta Partners is the creme de la creme in telecom consultancy. Then, of course, we have Chris, who also comes on board with a lot of experience in the tech sector to help our tech team. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. And again, we are deeply sorry that, you know, we had a mix-up with the start time. If you want to reach out to us, you can see our website on the screen, the email address, and you can also reach out to us by WhatsApp. But before we wrap off, I think there is a question here. We want to know what else you would like to see on Swychr. So guys, please, this is not a monologue. So please unmute yourself and let us hear from you. What else would you like to see us add on Swychr? We have a couple of minutes, so I'm hoping that we can hear from a couple of people.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, please go ahead.
I'm Itai Gbeyon by name. Thank you very much for what you have said so far concerning Swychr. I just have a little question to ask. I'm from Nigeria. Can I fund my account? Can I fund my Swychr account directly from my Nigerian bank account, then send it to a friend in UK?
Yes, the answer to that question is yes. So you can add funds to your Swychr account directly from any Nigerian bank. You can do a direct bank transfer. I mean, there's just so many different payment methods in Nigeria. We made sure of that. And of course, if you have a friend who is in the United Kingdom, they just need to set up a Swychr account and provide you with their email address. So once the funds are in your account, you can transfer to them using the transfer feature by simply just entering their email address and entering the number, I mean, the amount of money that you want to send based on the balance that you have, and it's done. Now, the person in the United Kingdom will need, if the person needs to withdraw, right now, the person will not be able to withdraw because we've not yet enabled that feature on the app. But before the end of May, that feature will be available. Like I said, we are looking at adding withdrawals for up to 100 countries. So the United Kingdom is definitely one of those countries. UK, US, Canada, Europe, and what have you, Australia, and so on. So once that option is added, you simply need to add the funds to your account, transfer to their own Swychr account at 0 fees, and then they will be able to just withdraw from their Swychr account directly to their bank account. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Very well. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. So that's good. Any other questions, guys? I mean, before you go, can you tell us anything that you would like to see on Swychr apart from withdrawals in the UK?
For now, none. Because so far, what you have mentioned, I'm okay. Like utility payment, funding directly from your account, all those things is included.
Okay.
So I'm okay for now.
All right, thank you very much. And if you do think of anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at usersuccess@swychr.com. Or info@swychr.com. We are always excited to hear from anyone about anything. So guys, any other input?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, my name is Aku Benjamin, sir.
Okay, Benjamin, thank you so much for joining. So yeah, please go ahead.
What I would like to suggest that to be added on the platform is the exchange rate, so that when any user wants to like fund his or her account now, he knows the current exchange rate, so that he doesn't get to be taken unawares whenever he wants to make a transaction using the Swychr ecosystem. When there is a display of the exchange rate, be it in Cameroon, Nigeria, and the rest, the person knows the total amount of money or purple coins he might want to fund his account with. So I believe the exchange rate should be like on display.
Okay, perfect. I think that's a very good input. So we are definitely going to work on that. We are going to ensure that you can actually check and see what exchange rate is applicable before you transact, both for fund addition into the account and for withdrawals. So that's a very good input. And yeah, thank you so much. Any other input? Guys, please, any other input?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a suggestion.
Okay.
You know, not a suggestion, Sha, but a question. You know, while I've been a merchant on the platform, I don't know who are the users that make transactions with the ecosystem. You know, like I told you before, my starting capital was around 50,000, and ever since, each time I go towards the marketplace to settle transaction, I discovered that the transaction to settle is way above my capital, and then I find it very difficult to like settle those transactions. I don't know if there can be a way, out, because as it is now, I have not settled a transaction, and it might look as though I'm one of the unserious merchants amongst my colleagues in the ecosystem, which it's not like that. So I don't know how to like balance the event on that on the platform. So I don't know if there's any way you can help me out.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think we've gotten that suggestion a number of times, and we're looking into it for partial settlements, wherein if you pick a transaction, you can settle as much as you're willing to, and this will be available for other merchants to settle. So you can be sure that this is something that we are actually discussing in-house, and we are looking for the best possibility to get that done. So you can be sure that this is something we are thinking about.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And
okay.
One thing.
Yeah.
And then one thing, you know, I so much love the organization and then the target of your company, the Swychr, because everything a merchant or a user will need concerning this ecosystem, it's there embedded in the system. And I love how fast and reliable it is. The issue I have with it now is not so many users are aware of this platform. And then whenever less of transactions happening on the ecosystem, I don't know why.
Okay, so I think, yes, you're right. We need to up our game as far as marketing and exposure of the platform is concerned. But like we did mention in a previous merchant session that we had, an internal one, we had been intentional about not making so much noise for the last part of 2022, because we ran into quite a bit of scalability issues. Of course, we had conducted a number of experiments as well, and we had lots and lots of learnings from those experiments. And we wanted to take the time. We decided to just take a step back and really just go back to the drawing board and implement most of these things that we learned. And I think we are at a good point now. Especially, most merchants will testify to you that things are a lot smooth now. And yes, organizing webinars like these and other strategies that we will be deploying in the next few months, it will be a good indication to you that it's time for us to really expose the platform. And also, we are always open to suggestions. So if you have any brilliant idea on how we can really expose the platform more, because we are ready to do that now, please feel free to get in touch with us either through the customer service on the app, or come directly to us by email or by WhatsApp if you are part of the merchant group, and we will be able to discuss those suggestions and work together to really expose the platform.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. So any other input, guys? I think we have 1 more minute to go. 1 or 2 more minutes. Any input from anyone?
Okay, can you get me, Aaron?
Yes, Joel, I can hear you. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm Joel. Okay, I just want to go back to some of the details you have been giving to us today, and as well compliment the work you have been doing so far. I really appreciate what you have been doing. The team has been building a lot of futures ever since I've known Swychr. Now I want to find out, assuming I'm in Cameroon, and we talked about transferring your funds to your bank account. Usually in every sector, any region, there are standard times for money to get into your bank account. For example, like if I'll take the case of Cameroon, where you make a fund transfer, it might take some time. I wanted to find out, to understand, well, is it an instant something, or it takes some time for you to get money into your bank account in the case you are doing a fund transfer?
Okay, thank you so much for the compliments, Joel, and thank you for your question, and even thank you for attending. Actually, you're right. So when it comes to withdrawal, especially to bank accounts, for mobile money, it's almost instant as soon as depending on the network as well, as soon as a merchant does the transaction, it's instant. Now, for bank accounts, we are subject to the infrastructures within the ecosystem. For example, in Nigeria, it's almost instant. Like if a merchant settles a transaction in Nigeria, even across different banks, it's instant, because they already have a well-established interbanking transfer infrastructure, thanks to their central bank. In Cameroon, it's not the case. So we actually don't, we have bank payout as an option in Cameroon, but we don't see a lot of users actually settling into bank accounts. Most people do into mobile money accounts, because maybe when they tried the bank account, it took maybe sometimes 2 days, depending. Let's say someone is in, we've had a case where a customer is with, is it BSEC? And then, the transfer is being done from UBA, and then it takes a couple of days and so on and so forth. So yes, that is a serious limitation. But in other markets like in Europe, in the UAE, in Nigeria, even in South Africa, where bank transfers are a lot faster, it's almost instant as well. So we are subject, we are limited to the limitations. We are also affected by the limitations in every market. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
No, I'm all right. It's okay. I understand.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, Joel, shoot, please.
No, I'm okay with him. I'm okay.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. We have chance for one more question. Fatima, are you going to say something?
I have a question.
Yes, please, Mr. Philip, please go ahead.
How do you become a merchant?
So we have a simple application process within the app itself. So if you're not yet a merchant, if you click on, there's a merchant menu. If you click on dashboard, it will actually take you to, it will take you to the steps where you have to provide some additional information, provide a selfie, provide your ID, and then we review and approve. So it's a simple application process within the app itself.
Okay, how long does the review and approval process take?
Normally within 3 business days at the most. We review applications on a rotating basis, but at most within 3 business days, except something is wrong, we are able to review. And if we review and we are not able to accept your application, we actually email you to explain exactly why we are not able to accept your application at that time, and we explain to you also how you can correct things so that we are able to admit you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Philip. So, guys, I think that is it. Unless someone really wants to say something quickly, then otherwise, I would say thank you guys so much, and we are deeply sorry again when about the mix-up with the timing. We got the time zone really wrong from our side, and we didn't schedule the meeting at the right time. I'm sure that's why a lot of people who really start to attend were not able to attend. However, it's recorded, and we are going to share to everyone, both those who attended and those who did not attend. As long as you really start your interest, we are going to send you a video of the session today. We are super grateful, and we hope, to organize something like this again in the near future. But of course, at that point, we should have some new things to share, some new developments about the things that we are working on. So that's it from our side, guys. On behalf of everyone at Swychr, I want to say thank you so much for joining our first webinar, first of many webinars, and you can look forward to an invitation when we plan them. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.
Okay, sir. Bye, sir.